This is definitely the most thrilling wilderness survival challenge. Strangers, male and female, survive together for 21 days with no food or water, not even allowed to wear clothes. Each person can only bring one survival item. Completing the challenge earns them USD 100,000. If you had the chance, would you dare to participate? The female lead is named Tara, a mountain mother who runs a workshop in the high Colorado region. She usually enjoys raising chickens and playing basketball. To hone her fire-starting skills, she's maintained a self-sufficient lifestyle for 2.5 years. She joined this challenge to test her real-world abilities. The male lead, Dustin, works at an ammunition factory. His only hobby is shooting guns. His house is filled with toy guns and plastic eggshells because, growing up in a poor family, he had to hunt. He's also accumulated quite a bit of survival experience in the wild. This challenge takes place on a remote island off the west coast of Panama. Before it began, the film crew and a team of 5 staff surveyed the site. Unfortunately, they encountered killer ants. Without a timely warning, the entire team nearly got wiped out. Some were stung hundreds of times, but thankfully they were wearing clothes. Otherwise, they'd have died on the spot. 2 of them rode a 4-wheeled vehicle costing $9.90 to reach the location. The challenge involves stripping naked, with a blur effect for modesty. After meeting, they briefly introduce themselves. Their survival gear this time includes a machete, a pot, and a fire-starting tool. Both check the map to determine their direction. First, they must avoid the killer ants. Better to face wild boars than get stung and swollen. Besides the deadly ants, the small island is full of crocodiles, 3-meter-long snakes, fist-sized spiders, and infectious diseases from bugs. The 2 walk and talk until they reach a large tree, deciding to set up camp nearby. Luckily, there's a stream not far off. After hours of hard work, the shelter is built, but by then, leeches have gorged themselves on their blood. Night falls quickly, and they're not alone. Uninvited friends drop by. 1, 2, 3, a whole swarm. In the end, they abandon the camp and sit on a rock in the stream, waiting for dawn. The next day, Tara asks Dustin to check her skin for leeches. Of course, helping each other is the right thing to do. By now, they've fed every mosquito within a 10-meter radius. The shelter has been bitten through in several spots. To avoid future spider attacks, they decide to raise their beds higher, at least keeping the spiders at bay. Things seem stable, but not entirely. The scene shifts to fire starting. They try for hours but can't get a spark. To avoid dehydration, they drink straight from the stream. At night, they return to their small shelter. Though the beds are slightly elevated, by the 4th day, Dustin prepares traps downstream to catch prey. He spends all morning fiddling with it and calls Tara to see his masterpiece. If prey passes and brushes it lightly, the trap will spring instantly. Later, they forage in the forest, gathering plenty of nuts from trees to bring back to camp. That night, they finally don't go hungry. Someone in the comments said they'd join the challenge, but I wouldn't dare. Just 4 days in, Tara's skin is covered in mosquito bites. Earning $100,000 is truly no easy feat. On the 5th day, they continue building their new life. With experience from past failures, this time goes much smoother. Everything's ready. Some protein would make it perfect. 2 days later, Dustin goes hunting but slips and falls. He uses the spot to set a trap in case small animals pass by. That night, fireflies brighten their mood and the snakes stay away. On the 8th day, Dustin sits by the stream all afternoon, joking that the rock fits his butt perfectly. Tara stays at camp, weaving a shrimp basket to improve their meals. By the 10th day, Tara finishes the basket, but waits all day by the stream with no catch. Returning to camp disappointed, she finds Dustin asleep and the fire out, making her cry in frustration over her useless teammate. On the 14th day, Tara waits for shrimp as usual. This time, she lucks out, catching one and joyfully brings it back. That night's dinner is 1 shrimp piece each. But at night, mosquitoes attack again. Morning reveals their bodies covered in bites. With no medicine, they smear mud to ease the itch. On the 16th day, they find a mosquito nest nearby, crush it, and cook it into soup. It's packed with protein, hundreds of times more than beef. Still, the traps yield nothing. While complaining, Dustin suddenly spots a lizard, takes it down and brings it back to camp for a meal. After days of near starvation, they finally get some protein. This hearty meal helps them succeed in the challenge. Now, on to the next pair. The challenge location is a primal forest in Bolivia, a harsh environment, a kingdom of wild animals. Each day feels like a life or death test. The first contestant is Hallie, a nature-loving mother of 3, who self-taught primitive survival skills for 5 years and wants to test herself. The second is Vincent, a survival trainer for whom this is a piece of cake. Upon arrival, they strip calmly, facing each other unfazed, then introduce their gear. Vincent brings a lighter, Hallie brings an axe, perhaps to keep Vincent in check. They study the program's map, learning they must travel 8 kilometers along a river to a resource-rich area, survive 21 days, then trek another 5 kilometers and climb a steep hill to the extraction point. The challenge begins. They spot poisonous berries. Vincent explains carefully, but Hallie finds it annoying. She clearly doesn't like him. The scorching weather prompts them to plan a temporary shelter, aiming to move to a canyon the next morning when it's cooler. Fearing snakes in the bushes, Vincent observes closely. They chop trees, gather materials, and soon a simple shelter is done. After a tiring day, they're thirsty but too exhausted to fetch water, enduring until morning. Finding fresh water is the top priority, but the river has parasites, so they head downstream. Hunger and harsh sun make Hallie dizzy and nauseous. Thinking she might die, Vincent quickly grabs wild leaves for her to eat. When asked if they're good, Hallie nods eagerly. Delicious, so delicious! Once recovered, they reach a waterfall in the canyon. Hallie's thrilled, rushing to the pool below. They bathe and find clean water filtered through sandstone on the cliffs. The safest they've encountered, though drinking risks choking. With no other choice, they gulp it down. Now, with fresh water, they decide to build a shelter nearby, finding a spacious forest spot and starting a fire. Vincent's skill shines. His fire-starting speed amazes Hallie, who exclaims, "A real man!" But dark clouds suddenly gather. They rush to build shelter before a big rain hits. At night, thunder terrifies them, fearing the waterfall might flood and drown the camp. Luckily, the night passes safely. The next day, they reinforce the shelter. While working, Vincent talks endlessly about his ideas, annoying Hallie, who hates his bossiness. They argue, and Vincent storms off to cool down, leaving Hallie fuming. Wandering, Vincent finds a small fallen bird. Bringing food back, Hallie seems oddly worried, but Vincent just smiles. Hallie blames herself, sadly, while Vincent casually processes the bird, plucking and roasting it. Though he dislikes Hallie, he shares it. They're a team. By day 10, beyond that bird, they've had no decent meals. Vincent stays at camp, not foraging, frustrating Hallie, who scolds him to man up. Realizing starvation can't continue, Vincent crafts a spear to fish at a pond. Hallie watches from afar, complaining her husband would have hunted better in the bushes. Vincent catches nothing, and heavy rain threatens their flood-prone camp. They huddle helplessly. By day 14, the river rises, waterfall spray hitting the camp, forcing a move. On day 15, the rain stops, but Vincent weakens, his body failing. Hallie's worried but can only pray. At night, she calls medical rescue. Doctors diagnose Vincent with dehydration, malnutrition, and exhaustion, not yet critical. Unless he quits, he must continue. By day 17, Vincent worsens, admitting he's out of energy and choosing to withdraw. For his health, Hallie's devastated, unsure what to do. After 16 days, Vincent exits, leaving Hallie alone. Exhausted, she persists for her husband's promise. Solo in camp, she feels lonely, missing Vincent, talking to a stick figure on a rock. After 11 days without food, she forages desperately by the river but finds nothing, until she spots a dead parrot's head, half eaten by animals. Ignoring disease risks, she roasts and eats it. On day 20, Hallie's stomach aches terribly, screaming as if dying. Medics rush in, finding severe infection, and evacuate her to a hospital. On day 20, She ends the challenge for health reasons. Meanwhile, Vincent, post-exit, was diagnosed with 3 tropical diseases, including deadly malaria, requiring a month in hospital to survive. Poor Hallie, just one more day, and she'd have won $100,000. In hospital, she suspects the show poisoned the parrot to sabotage her. Next up is Charlie, a burly construction worker with no standout skills but a strong body. His goal? Survive with a beautiful girl. The female contestant, Daniel, is a young, gorgeous wilderness doctor. Young folks often find pairing with a healthy partner the most exciting part. They meet, faces covered, and click instantly, vowing to stick it out together, no quitting. They check the map. This challenge is in Colombia's Davaca River Valley, teeming with predators and harsh conditions, but with many rivers, fresh water's plentiful, just a few steps away. The flat riverside terrain suits a shelter. Perhaps to impress Daniel, Charlie eagerly chops wood but collapses in the heat. Daniel urges rest, but Charlie insists on fire before dark, sparking her complaint. No need to overdo it for image. In this weather, survival's not too tough. Things go smoothly. After prepping water, night falls. They plan to sleep, but howling monkeys keep them awake, guarding against attacks. Charlie grips a machete. They build a basic shelter and seek protein. Daniel, a vegetarian, forages for fruit, while Charlie, craving meat, searches the river but finds nothing. Daniel discovers a protein-rich plant, eating happily, but Charlie can't stomach it and tries his luck again. At a waterfall, Charlie deems the flowing water safe and drinks, despite Daniel calling it reckless. He argues if he's fine tomorrow, they can skip boiling water later. By day 4, Charlie's healthy, proving the water's okay. But days without food or sleep exhaust Daniel. She just wants rest. Charlie, feeling manly, wants to take charge, letting her sleep while he fetches water. Daniel insists on joining, fearing he'll mess up. He orders her to rest, annoying her. She hates being bossed. They nearly argue, but Charlie relents and they go together. Daniel dislikes Charlie's patriarchal vibe, acting without considering her feelings, pointing fingers. Charlie says he's just caring, but she snaps he's acting superior, embarrassing him. He shrugs it off, men don't argue with women, and keeps caring for her. On the way back, he repeats his intent, but she feels disrespected, sparking a bigger fight. Fed up, Charlie retreats to the forest to cool off, returning to apologize, and they reconcile. On day 6, Charlie finds snails by the river, roasting them. He'd cook more, but vegetarian Daniel objects, so he releases them. By day 11, poor diet weakens Charlie. He sets traps but catches nothing. Daniel thrives on plants. By day 15, his traps fail and hunger keeps him awake. By day 18, starvation breaks Charlie. He wants to quit. Daniel's disappointed. The strong guy she knew is gone. Still, she helps, catching a toad. Though she's never killed, she brings it for him. Saddened but understanding. Charlie's touched. On day 19, they prep to leave camp, packing rope and making paddles. They sleep to conserve energy, 2 days left. On day 22, they build a bamboo raft and paddle to the finish. After a night on shore, day 21 sees them reach the end, winning $100,000 amid joy.